Hello and welcome to today's crypto review, and in today's video I'll be talking about Nsure Network with the ticker symbol Nsure, currently trading at almost 57.3 cents, up 5.6% in the last 24 hours. The circulating supply is very low for this token, under 6 million as we can see here on CoinGecko, with a total supply of 45 million, but there is a max supply of 100 million which gets minted over time until that 45 million becomes 100 million basically. And we're going to talk about the tokenomics in a bit when we take a look at the website. But before that, you may be asking yourself, well, why are you talking about Nsure out of the blue? Well, I'm not talking about them out of the blue, and just to make you aware, this is not a sponsored video. I've simply chosen to speak about Nsure Network to make you aware because, as we can see here on the Web3 Foundation's GitHub page, Nsure Network are actually part of Wave 8's grant. So basically the grant that is given to startups in order to kick off their projects, right? To help them gain momentum, to help them become known. So the Web3 Foundation have a lot of power, of course, and they've got a lot of funding. They're working with Polkadot, with Parity Technologies, and so on. So it's very, very important to see that a project is getting a grant from the Web3 Foundation, because this means that the Web3 Foundation has done their due diligence on the project, on the team. They validated that they're legit. They validated that they're not going to run away with their funds. They've likely signed some sort of contracts aside from reviewing their GitHub page and the open source code and so on. So of course, the Web3 Foundation don't just give grants to anybody, right? You gotta have something to present to actually motivate them to give you that granting, because who's going to throw money for nothing, right? The Web3 Foundation are not just some moon boys who are basically gambling on specific projects hoping that they're going to do well. No, they actually make sure that a project is doing something, performing, and of course, as long as they deliver the milestones, then everything should be fine. But if you're new here, my name is Claudio and this is CryptoChain, the channel where I do crypto news, reviews, tutorials, and interviews. So please hit that subscribe button. Please hit the like button if you enjoy this video, or dislike if you don't, and leave a comment below telling me what do you think of the video. But to continue on here, so where can you actually get Nsure? Again, not financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor. You can get it on Uniswap. That's where most of the volume is on at the moment, as we can see here. And actually, no, in the last 24 hours, there's more volume on BitMax, surprisingly, but there is some fake volume on BitMax too. So just be careful with that. Not everything you see on BitMax is real. Some of it is real, some of them are bots, and some of them are real people, of course, or simply fake. But 2.26 million is the volume on Uniswap, so that is one of the better ones that I recommend personally. And again, there's no problem with BitMax whatsoever. I have used BitMax myself, so that's all good. Just stay away from Hotbit, in my opinion. Also, Biloxi, I don't really trust them that much, but I have heard people being able to successfully trade on there, so just be careful with that. But let's not waste any more time and dig straight into Nsure Network and see what they're about. So it's basically an open insurance platform for open finance, creating an insurance market to trade risk. So hence why the Web3 Foundation have been bullish on this company, and they've decided to give them their grant, right? Because they've seen the potential and the need for insurance when it comes to DeFi. There's a huge DeFi craze at the moment, in case you're not already aware. Everybody wants to get into a decentralized finance product. They think that this is the future, and it could likely be the future, but there was just too much hype in the last while on it. So of course we need an insurance platform to protect us, and that's why insurance is very important. I know that there are a couple of these projects around, but Nsure Network are actually focusing on the DeFi market. So here we can even see that in the diagram. We've got Compound here, we've got Banker, we've got Uniswap, so, and Wi-Fi too. So yeah, they're basically, you got to think of it as a way that all these different pools have got all these different transactions going on in terms of tokens being supplied to the pool and so on, liquidation being supplied, liquidation being removed, all these kind of things, right? So these smart contracts could be at risk, right? And of a risk of hackers. So hence why we need an insurance product, and this is where Nsure Network come into play, and that's why they're so important. So just to reiterate what they've got on the website here, they've got capital mining, so you can provide capital to back insurance risks in the capital pool, or purchase insurance covers to obtain Nsure tokens. Nsure are minted and automatically awarded on every block, so I'm going to be talking about that when I look at their tokenomics. just to kind of give you more detail on that. Open market to trade risk. So Nsure Network is a permissionless platform for whoever wants to purchase a cover. Capital providers can utilize Nsure to stake on specific insurance risks to obtain daily insurance premiums. Leverage staking is available for non-correlated insurance products. Also dynamic pricing and capital management. Pricing is determined by real-time supply of capital and demand of insurance coverage for the products. The capital model ensures that valid claims will always be paid and that systematic risk is under control. So here's the roadmap. Here we can see that they've released the white paper in the first quarter of this year. Now in this quarter, there's the alpha release, capital mining, cover purchasing, and leverage staking, the claim payment. So I'm going to be talking about that in a moment because I'm sure you're probably interested in the leverage staking. How is it? How does that actually work? Why leverage, right? Can you actually stake more than you own? Yes, you can. So yeah, it's very, very interesting. I look forward to talking about that and just to kind of explain how it works. But their mainnet is not till Q1 of 2021. So we've got up to 4 months, I should say. About 4 months until a mainnet is gonna be released. It could be much less than that. It could be 2 months, right? For all we know, it could be in January. But it's just something that we could expect very, very soon to happen. But for now, leverage staking is the big one. This is where the hype is on at the moment, to kind of show you how it's gonna work. In Q2, they've got the Nsure DAO support, the decentralized autonomous organization, community governance. In Q3, they've got the bootstrap on the multi-chain ecosystem, example Polkadot. So they do have some link to Polkadot. This is probably another reason why the Web3 Foundation have decided to give them the grant, because obviously they had plans to work with Polkadot and Parity. And in Q4, developing strategies to deliver greater returns to Nsure holders. So this is important because it looks like they care about the Nsure holders for the future. Now let's take a look at the team. Again, there are no photos, but if you search for these people, you should be able to find them on LinkedIn. Jeff Wren, Management and Research. He's got a master's degree in management and coastal engineering too. Previously with Chain Founder Capital as investment director and researcher. Research about blockchain protocols and ecosystem since 2017. He's been developing for hurricane surge model for US National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration. Alex Peng is an insurance model design and actuarial analysis. Master's degree in financial engineering, 10 years insurance professional in Aon with extensive experience in actuarial analysis, insurance-linked securities, structuring and reinsurance broker, expert in financial modeling and quantitative analytics. So we've got people here with a lot of coding experience too, and also analysis, so that's great. We can see here the lead developer and so on. I'm not going to go through each one, but this guy here, Alvaro Fernandez, he's actually in the Telegram group. If you check out the Telegram group for Nsure, you'll find Alvaro Fernandez there, trying to help the community. He's also an admin there. So their partners are Based Ventures, Mechanism Capital, Genlock Capital, Signal Ventures. I haven't heard of a lot of these people. 3 Commas looks familiar. I've seen them before. Again, you can access their Twitter page, Discord, Telegram, and so on. You can also contact them directly, but I recommend you to go directly on Telegram. Just be careful with Telegram because admins normally don't PM you. So if you get a private message from somebody pretending to be an admin, asking you to deposit funds and so on, just stay away from that. Report them. They're fake. Again, just to reiterate, admins never private message you unless you tell them in advance, look, let's talk. And you should be the one that should engage in that private message. You can just start that, right? You see that who's an admin because you can basically check the little tag, the little label, I should say, on the top right hand corner of the next to the name there, in the section next to the name of their account. So just be careful with that. Now, let's take a look at the private sale that they've had here. So they've conducted this a while back, right? But we need to know what the tokenomics are because these are very important. We've seen projects in the past where the price has dumped on us very hard. It's been hurting us a lot, hurting our investments, hurting our bags because we weren't careful about the tokenomics. We didn't do enough research before getting in and we got absolutely destroyed. It happened to everybody, right? If it didn't happen to you, you're one of the lucky ones. Good luck. Now, LBP allocation. So when they had this token sale, they had 4 million Nsure that they wanted to allocate to this, which was the 9% of the total supply. Now, the token price ceiling was $5 and the token price floor was 10 cents. So that's what it started at. And it was in the stable token USDC, as we can see here. There was an airdrop allocation of 100,000 too. The vesting period had no lockup. The private sale token price was 10 cents. 14% of the total token supply was assigned to the private sale. So if we look at that, that's 450 million is the total supply, because we're not talking about the max supply. Remember, that's not been minted yet. The maximum that the smart contract will mint is 100 million. It's in the smart contract code, but 45 million is the max supply, is the total supply for now. So 6.3 million is what is being assigned to the private sale investors. Just something for you to keep in mind when researching projects. Now, 20% did get unlocked of this 14%. So of the 6.3 million, 20% was unlocked. Okay, and 20% gets released every 3 months for over a year, which is the total vesting period. So that's just something, again, for you to keep in mind. Just know that these unlockings can cause the price to take a bit of a dip, but again, you can't always be worried about this. You gotta check the chart. You gotta see how it's gonna go, right? I mean, if we go back here, I'm gonna go back to that in a moment, but if we look here at the chart, and if we go to the 30-day, we can see here that the price pretty much started around 130 when it listed on exchanges. It pumped and then it dropped to 30 cents, 54, 60, and then we had this humongous spike here on the 30th of October. It was like a pre-Halloween surprise. It's like, happy Halloween, $3.42. And then it came back crushing again. So this was obviously a pump and dump that took place here in one of the days, and likely caused some people to get wrecked as usual, depending on when they bought, or somebody maybe just bought a very, very big bag. Could be that too, but it looks more like a pump and dump to me here. And then it just basically stabilized around the 35 to 40 cents area. We had some spikes to almost 70 cents here, as we can see, 67, and then pretty much stable around the 40 cents to 50 cents area until yesterday, when we had another little spike when they've announced the staking going live. So staking is going to go live on the 18th. I'm going to be talking about that in a moment, but just to continue on here, we can see there's the seed token price, which was 5 cents. Okay, and 1% of the total supply was assigned to the was allocated to the seed. 10% of the total supply was the foundation reserve allocation. Marketing and operation allocation is 10% of the total supply. Marketing operation vesting period as well, 20% unlocked, 20% released every 6 months. So again, something to keep in mind here, every 6 months, right? Every 6 months we're going to be seeing a bit of a dip because somebody wants to sell something, right? They have the right to, right? Not, right? I mean, they got in very cheap. They're probably likely part of the team too. And anybody who's part of the team, you know, are going to sell too, right? They need to make some kind of money. But there's nothing stopping them, right? But they can choose to. They can choose to decide, okay, I'm going to stake, because we've seen this in other crypto projects too. So I'm not saying that they're necessarily going to dump, not to scare you, but it's just for you to know, for your awareness. Now, the team vesting period is 6 months fully locked. So for the next 6 months, we're not going to have to worry about anything, which is almost like the middle of next year, probably around April, May next year. 25% release every 6 months, more than 2 years total vesting period. So again, it is an ERC20 token on the Ethereum blockchain. The token distribution all took place within 3 days. So yeah, basically any selling that has been done likely has been done at the beginning, I'd say, and then there's going to be more when they get those tokens released. And we've got the information on the vesting schedule and so on here on the website. But just to not bore you, let's move on and talk about the staking. So basically, they've got this program which they've recently launched, right? And again, they've launched it, they've announced it, but it's not going to go live until the 18th, which is going to be next Wednesday. So do prepare for that. It's going to start at 11 a.m. CET or Universal Time. It's actually Universal Time, yes. So the purpose of this program is to get you familiar with the dynamic pricing used in our Nsure model by providing a real-time underwriting platform for you to stake your Nsure tokens and earn rewards. Unlike on our model to be applied for our alpha and mainnet version, this is an adapted simulation where you can earn rewards in terms of minted Nsure tokens. If a hack occurs on the platform where you choose to become an underwriter, this will not lead to any losses. Instead, you will not be eligible to claim the expected rewards. In the program, you are exposed to the movement of the capital demand and supply. Such movement will impact the equilibrium price premium based on which the minted tokens are distributed. So the rules, what are the rules here? So we've got the total staking power. So leverage is allowed up to 4 times. This is the one that I wanted to talk about here. which means that you can allocate 4 times your holdings to at most 10 projects, subject to the assumption that not more than 25% of your token balance, 100% of your 400%, is allocated to each project. For example, Jeff has 100,000 tokens. The maximum staking power he has is 400,000. He could stake up to 100,000 on Compound and 50,000 each on other 6 projects, right? The staking epoch here is 14 days, including 11 days lockup period and 3 days rebalance period. Participants are free to rebalance their portfolio based on their staking and new information, on their strategy and new information such as TSI, or withdraw tokens during the rebalance period. So stake tokens are not withdrawable nor transferable during the lock period. So you can only do so in the rebalance period, as we can see here. And you can basically move around. So it's pretty interesting because this of course gives you some payout, right? So that's what you want to find out more about here. So let's have a look at the rewards here, right? Do have a look. I'm going to be posting a link to this article here, by the way. Do have a read through this. Maybe you're interested in the dynamic pricing. I'm not going to spend time with that. I'm going to spend time on the rewards part because I'm sure you're probably interested in this one. So regarding the capital mining model, we're taking the following assumptions. That's what they're saying here. So for each Ethereum block produced, 1 Nsure token will be distributed proportionally to all staked tokens. There will be 5,760 tokens generated daily. The current circulating supply is 5.7 million. So of course that was at the time of doing the writing this article, but now it's almost 6 million, as you've seen on CoinGecko. As a reference, the average annual yield is a 10% staked circulating supply ratio, which is around 371% API. See calculation in the attached Excel. In contrast, in case of 50% staked circulating supply ratio, the average annual yield will be estimated at 74% API. So the more people that stake, the less you get rewarded, which is normal, right? Because you're taking more out of circulation. Now the total return might be higher if less people participated at a different strategy and a different strategy is applied. So you do have a read through this reward distribution if you're interested here, and how it's calculated, multiplying by the capital demand and the premium rate, of course. But to jump straight into the penalties, so if a hack occurs on the protocol that you choose to become an underwriter for, so basically the one that you're staking with, this will not lead to any losses. Instead, the tokens will be locked for an additional 40 days as penalty. So that's pretty good because at least you're not going to lose your tokens. You're just going to have to suffer that penalty. But then once that's over, then you can move around again. And once you do that, then when you get to the rebalance period, you can get out of that situation, move to a different pool, and then get rewarded again, right? So yeah, pretty good good strategy here, which is interesting. But again, I mean, we gotta see how the price is gonna move, right? I do suspect that just on the day of the staking, going live and stuff, we may see some serious movement with this project, right? With this token. But I mean, it's not impossible, right? We could potentially see, I know this was a pump and dump price, but just because the supply is so low, I mean, the circulating supply is still under 6 million, the market cap is still pretty low. How likely is it that this token is going to get listed on a bigger exchange, right? I think it's very likely, simply because they're now no longer on the radar, but they're on the radar of the big boys. And the big boys are people like CZ from Binance, people from Huobi, people from other projects which are basically, or other big exchanges which are basically seeing that the Web3 Foundation has trusted Nsure Network because they've given them the grant. So now they've got that, you know, credibility, we should say, in the eyes of those big exchanges. So I do expect Nsure Network to get listed on a bigger exchange, because at the moment they're on all these small exchanges, as we can see here. So that's of course affecting liquidity at the moment, and that's why the price is not really doing so well, right? But I could expect this to definitely easily go over $1 when it's going to get listed on a bigger exchange. It could even happen while it's still as it is on BitMax, on Uniswap, and so on. When staking goes live, it could be because people just love to stake, and if not enough people stake, then there's motivation to stake because your return on investment is going to be humongous. So yeah, of course people are going to be staking, right? If the return on investment is lower, then people are no longer going to be staking, and then they're going to pull out, right? And then those that do remain are going to make rewards. So it's a really interesting scenario here, because do you see my point? Like, I mean, you're getting 370% if only 10% of the circulating supply is staked, right? So yeah, I mean, that is quite humongous if you think about it, right? But yeah, let me know what you think of Nsure Network, insurance for DeFi products. What do you think? Also, the fact that they're going to be building or working with Substrate, likely building on Substrate, likely working with Polkadot, very soon, 2021 should be the year of Nsure Network. So hence why they're trying to attract as many people as possible with the staking rewards on the 18th of November. So yes, keep an eye out on that. Don't miss out if you are interested. Again, thank you very much for watching this video, and I'll see you in my next video. Take care. Bye-bye.